telling Michael Symon, hello, Michael Symon, everybody, that we should exchange information so we can continue this, hangout session. And, I love you. I love everything that you do. I'm so excited for your 9th beautiful cookbook, everybody. It is amazing. I love this cover, too. This is kind of like not just food you aspire to, but a life as well.
Yeah, it's, that's like Liz and I, we've been very fortunate, restaurant business our entire life. And
which is the hardest business.
It is. I mean, I might have had a full head of hair if I didn't work in the restaurant. But, and during the pandemic, much like you, we started doing Symon's Dinners Cooking Out. And we shot it in our house on a iPhone.
Yep.
And then the show just continued for 8 seasons and continuing to do it. And it was just, the whole premise was anything that you can make inside, you can make outside. Anything you can make outside, you can make inside. If you just look at your grill. Just envision your grill. So when the top is off,
yep,
it's a stove top.
Okay.
When you close the lid, it's an oven.
Oh.
That's all you have to remember.
Okay.
And you're good.
I like that new way of thinking.
So normally I'd be making this outside.
Open,
so I'd have this
closed.
on top of the stove top. We have ground beef here.
All right, we're gonna make Sloppy Joe tacos.
Sloppy Joe tacos.
You had me at Sloppy Joe.
So this is smoked paprika.
Okay.
I'm gonna add that in.
All right.
And then I'm gonna add the onions. You're a fantastic sous chef.
Thank you. That's literally the only thing I'm gonna be good at is supporting you.
It's a fantastic supporting cast. And then garlic. All right, so a little bit of brown sugar. Now, this is a to-taste thing. You can make it I don't use a lot of sugar in my cooking or life, but you could put a little bit in here. I like Sloppy Joes to be a little bit on the sweet side. And what happened when we cooked the onions in the fat is they just broke down and they sweat translucent. All the flavor comes out. San Marzano whole peeled crushed tomatoes. And then I'm going to put in...
Here's the mustard. What kind of mustard
do you love? This is just yellow mustard, but I have a little mustard company called Pop, and it's whole seed mustard. I'll use that in it too when I'm being a little more bougie. And then some stock.
What kind of stock do you think?
It's beef, so I'm just going to use a beef broth.
Keep it maybe to the protein you're
Correct.
making?
But the great thing about this is once you have the basic recipe down, and you're going to let this simmer for 10 minutes, and then we could scooch over here. But once you have the recipe down, you could do this with ground chicken. You could do this with ground pork. Your favorite. You could make it with ground lamb. You could do it.
I hate that lamb because it's so gamey.
Or vegetables.
But I loved in the cookbook that you suggest all the different proteins that you can make it with, because that way, whatever you prefer is awesome. Or if you've been having a protein that week and you want to switch it up, all the suggestions. There's 5 proteins suggested.
Yeah, and everything. But now you could buy cauliflower all chopped.
Yes.
If you want to do a vegetarian version, boom, tofu. Yeah, I don't understand tofu still to this day.
So we'll make tofu lamb burgers and have a party. Understood. Okay, so now this would be simmered and steeped and
so this is cooked for, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes.
Everything is coalesced so beautifully.
And look, I always want to, a recipe is great, and that's why we make cookbooks to teach people how to cook. But what I always try to show in the cookbooks and on the show is the method and technique of how to make something, because then you could kind of make everything.
Yes.
So when I say 5 minutes, if in 5 minutes there's still a ton of liquid in there, just let it go first. Use all your senses to cook. Your smell, your eyes, your ears, listen, and that's when you really become a good cook. I always tell people all the time, they're like, I've never cooked, what am I gonna do? I'm like, the worst thing that happens, especially if you live in New York, this is actually a good thing. Worst thing that happens is it doesn't come out and you get a pizza.
Yeah.
That's worst case scenario.
God, you're not only a chef, you're a mental wellness coach, Michael. Well, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. And then I'm just so excited. I haven't seen Sloppy Joes put into a taco. You've got all the fixins. We're going to assemble. I'm drooling. I haven't eaten. We'll be right back.